Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about equations of straight lines. If you find this video useful, why not? Please subscribe to the channel. So let's get right into it. So the equation of a straight line is normally written in this form, okay? Underline word normally, right? It's not always in this form, but this is one form that we can write an equation of a line. Now, the m here that you see is what we call the gradient, and then the c that you see is what we call the y-intercept, okay? Now, there's another way of writing an equation of a line. So this is what I call the alternative formula, okay? Let's say that you have 2 points, point A with coordinate x1, y1, and then point P with coordinates xy, okay? Now, the gradient of the line segment AP would be called m in this case, okay? So we can say that if we are finding the gradient, then we can write y minus y1 over x minus x1 like we have written here. And that is the gradient called m. So we can cross multiply, okay? So we will get y minus y1 is equal to m into bracket x minus x1. Now, this is also equation of a straight line with gradient m, okay, that is passing through the point x1, y1. So, even though these two equations are virtually the same, all right, I prefer to use this second one a lot because it helps me to do the work faster. Okay, that's my personal opinion. All right, some of you might be really okay with y equals mx plus c because that helps you to work faster, no problem. But I like this one a lot, so I'll be using this in most of our calculations today. All right, so if we are given a gradient, you are given a point, you should be able to find the equation of a line. Right, let's start with the first example for today. It says that we should find the equation of the line, of the straight line, A with the gradient 2 and passing through the point 4, 7. Remember that we said that the equation of a line could be written as y minus y1 equals m into bracket x minus x1, right? Okay, so what is the point that we have? We have our y1 and x1 here, and then we have the gradient to be 2. So we can have y minus 7 is equal to gradient of 2 x minus 4. All right, so we have y minus 7 is equal to 2x minus 8. Now, this means that we have y is equal to 2x minus 8 plus 7, okay? And now we can write our final answer as y is equal to 2x minus 1. So this is the equation of the line. So now check this. Even though I started with this, obviously I ended up with y equals some mx plus c, okay? Anyways, like I said earlier, I like this approach because it's faster for me. Yours could be the other way around. All right. Now, what if you are asked to find the equation of the line passing through the point, all right, these 2 points, okay, you were not given gradient? Well, then it is imperative on your side to find the gradient. So gradient m will be equal to, we can have negative 4 minus 8 over 1 minus 5. That should give us negative 12 over 6, and that is negative 2. We said that we will use this equation, all right, of a line. So I can say that y minus, now y1, which one would be our y1? Well, you have 2 points, you can use any, okay? So assuming that I'm going to use this point, let's say 1, negative 4, okay? So I'll have y minus y1, but our y1 is negative 4, all right? Is equal to m. In this case, we had negative 2, all right? X minus x1, but what is x1? All right, so x minus x1, but x1 is 1, all right? So this is how we go about it. All right, so now let's solve. So we have y plus 4 is equal to negative 2x plus 2. All right, and this is definitely going to give us y is equal to negative 2x plus 2, all right, minus 4, giving us y is equal to negative 2x minus 2, okay? And then you are done. All right, let's consider the next question. It says that find the equation of the perpendicular bisector, all right, perpendicular bisector of the line joining A and B. Now, take note of this word, bisector. What bisector means that the perpendicular line we are talking about divides the line AB into two equal parts. All right, so if this is line AB, all right, the perpendicular bisector would actually divide this line into two equal parts. Okay? All right. So what we want to do is rather find the equation of this particular line. Okay, the perpendicular bisector. Well, the fact that the perpendicular bisector divides line AB into two parts means that this particular point over there, all right, let's use maybe this color. This particular point here becomes what we call the midpoint. Okay, the midpoint. So we need a midpoint of line AB. We need to find that point. So midpoint AB will be the sum of the x values of A, which is 3 plus 7, all right, divided by 2, and the sum of y values, which is 2 plus 10, divided by 2. So this will give us 10 by 2, 5, and then 12 by 2, 6. So the midpoint is 5, 6. All right, now if you look at the perpendicular bisector line and the line AB, they are what? Perpendicular lines. They meet at 90 degrees. So the gradient of line AB times the gradient of the perpendicular line should give us -1, okay? We learned that from our previous video. So if you haven't watched the video on parallel and perpendicular lines, I suggest you go there to gain more insight and come back to watch this particular video. All right, so let's find the gradient of line AB. So gradient of AB will be equal to 10 minus 2 over 7 minus 3, all right, giving us 8 over 4, which is what? 2, okay? Right. So now, how do we find the gradient of the perpendicular line? Well, since it's a perpendicular line, its gradient, so gradient of, let's call it perpendicular line, will be equal to -1 over the gradient that we have already found, 2, okay? So that gradient is -half. So now we have the gradient, which is here. We have a point on the perpendicular line, which is here. So we can find the equation of the line. So let's find it. So that will be y minus y1, which is 6 in this case, equals the gradient, which is -half, into bracket x minus x1, which is 5. Okay, now you can decide to multiply 3 by 2, giving you 2y minus 12 is equal to negative into bracket x minus 5. If we expand, we are going to have 2y minus 12 is equal to -x plus 5. So you can have 2y, all right, plus x minus 12 minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, so you have 2y plus x minus 17 is equal to 0. So this is another way to leave your answer. Sometimes the examiner will say leave your answer in the form a y plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So this is how you will leave it. But if they want you to leave your answer in the form y equals mx plus c, then when you got here, what you would rather do is to write 2y is equal to -x plus 5 plus 12. Then you have 2y is equal to -x plus 17. You divide by 2, you have have x plus 17 over 2. So this is how you would have left it if they had asked you to leave your answer in the form y equals mx plus c. So pay attention to the format of the final answer, how the examiner wants you to leave the answer. It is really, really important. All right, let's look at this particular question. It says that P is a point with this coordinate, Q is also this coordinate. A line L is drawn through P to meet what? PQ. To PQ to meet the y-axis. This is really, really important, to meet the y-axis at the point what? R. Okay. So now let's say that we have drawn a PQ. All right. Let's have a pictorial view of what we are going to do. Let's say this is P and then this is Q. Now they said that a line is drawn through where? A line is drawn through P, and this line is perpendicular to PQ. So that means that a line will be drawn through P, all right, and it's going to be perpendicular to PQ, okay? All right, now this is different from what we solved here, where they called it perpendicular what? Bisector, okay, here. Perpendicular bisector. The perpendicular bisector suggests that that perpendicular line is going to divide the line into two parts. But this time round, it's not a perpendicular bisector. It's just a perpendicular line passing through P. So you make sure that it passes through P, okay? So you are just following the story, following the instruction. Don't do what you think, do what you've been given, all right? Okay. Now let's solve the question. It says that we should do what? We should find the equation of the line L. Now, which line is the line L? Well, is the perpendicular line, okay? So now let's start to work on it. Now, since it's the perpendicular line, we need a point and a gradient, okay? We know that the line passes through P, so we know a point already. So the next thing we need to do is to find the gradient of line PQ, all right? And since it is perpendicular to that, we can just do -1 over that gradient and we are good to go. So how do we do that? Let's find gradient of PQ. And that will be 0 minus 5 over 6 minus 2, giving us -5 over 3, right? No, actually 4. Okay. So if this is the gradient, then we can find the gradient of the perpendicular line, okay? And that gradient will be -1 over -5 over 4. And this is definitely going to be 4 over 5, okay? We have found it. Now we can find the equation of the line. So let's find it. So that will become y minus y1. But since the line passes through P, we are going to use the coordinate of P in our workout. So y minus 5 is equal to the gradient, which is 4 over 5, x minus x1, which is 2, okay? Now I'm going to clean this shape here so that we can do our workout there. All right? So let's bring the calculation here. Okay. So what will happen now is that we have y minus 5 is equal to, can we just multiply 3 by 5? Yeah. Okay, let's just multiply 3 by 5 because of the fraction. We are going to have y minus 25y, sorry. 5y minus 25, okay, is equal to 4 into bracket x minus 2. And that will give us 5y minus 25 is equal to 4x minus 8. So we have 5y minus, let me just call it 5y minus 4x is equal to, not 48, it's 4x is equal to -8, all right? So -8 plus 25, -8 plus 25, that will give us 17. Okay, so I can also leave my answer in this form and it's acceptable. All right, so this is how to go about it. Now they want us to find the coordinates of the point what? R. Well, let's go back and understand where the R is coming from. So this equation of the line that we have found, this particular guy, okay, it goes through P, perpendicular to PQ, all right, to meet the y-axis at the point R? Well, if it is meeting the y-axis, what do we know about the y-axis? Well, first, let's write the equation of the line, which is 5y minus 4x is equal to 17. So if this equation of the line is going to meet the y-axis, then what is the coordinate at the y-axis? Well, at the y-axis, all right, at the y-axis, we know that x value is 0. Therefore, we are going to have 5y minus 4 into 0 equals 17, giving you 5y equals 17, which implies that y must definitely be 17 over 5. Therefore, your point R will have the x coordinate to be 0 and then the y to be 17 over 5. Okay, so that is how we go about it. Let's consider our last question for the day, question 4. It says that the coordinates of the triangle ABC are blah, 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 and blah. Now, the interesting thing is that P is the fourth of the perpendicular from B to AC. Well, things are becoming confusing right now, right? So you just get a triangle. They didn't say it's a right angle triangle, so I'll just put any triangle down. Okay, let me bring it down a little bit. Okay, all right, and then can we even shrink it so we can get more space to work? All right, this is cool. Okay, so let's say that this is A, this is B, this is C. Okay, this is a triangle. All right, and then we know that they gave us A to be 2, -1, and B is 14, 5, C is, oh, actually B is 3, sorry. B is 3, 7, and then C is 14, 5. Okay, now they are telling us that there is a perpendicular from where B to AC, so from B all the way to AC. So this is the perpendicular, and the foot of it, that's where it meets the AC line. They want us to call it what? P. Okay, so that is what they want. Now, what is the question? They want us to find the equation of the line P what? BP, from B to P. So the blue line, that's what they want us to find. Well, what are the facts about this line? Well, for one thing, this line is perpendicular to line AC. So if we know the gradient of AC, automatically we know the gradient of BP. And since we know one point on line BP, which is B, we can find the equation of the line BP. Okay, so that's the plan. Let's do that. Okay, so gradient of AC will be equal to 5 minus 1 over 14 minus 2, giving us 6 over 12, which is half. Okay, so gradient of BP will be -1 over half, giving us -2. Okay, now the equation of this line will be y minus, now we are looking for equation of line BP, so we know one point on it, which is B, so we can say 1 minus 7 is equal to -2 into bracket x minus 3, giving us y minus 7 is equal to -2x plus 6, okay, giving us y is equal to -2x plus 13, and you are done. So that is the equation of the line. Then they want us to find the coordinates of what? P. Now they want us to find the coordinate of P. Don't go and say that, well, P will be the midpoint of A and C. It's not true. Why? Because they didn't say that it is a perpendicular bisector. They just said it's a perpendicular. Okay, so you can't use that. But what we can do is, if we can find the equation of the line AC, since we know the equation of the line BP, we can solve the two simultaneously and we will get the values or the coordinates of point P. So let's do that. Okay. So we have already found the gradient of AC and we got half. So we can use that to find the equation of the line. Well, let's use the coordinates of A. So y minus minus 1 is equal to the gradient, which is half, into bracket x minus 2. All right, and this will give us y plus 1 is equal to half x minus 2. That will give us y is equal to half x minus 1 minus 1, giving us y is equal to half x minus 2. Okay, now check this now. We have two different equations, this equation and that equation. We can solve them simultaneously and then find the values of x and y. So since they are both y, let's equate them, giving us negative 2x plus 13 is equal to half x minus 2. You can multiply through by 2, that will give you negative 4x plus 26 is equal to x minus 4. So you are going to have 26 plus 4 is equal to x plus 4x. That would be 30 is equal to 5x, x is 6. Okay, now let's put that into one of the equations, maybe this particular equation, and that would give us y is equal to negative 2 into bracket 6 plus 13, giving us negative 12 plus 13. All right, so y is 1. Okay, therefore the point P is 6, 1. All right, easy like that. Okay, now they want us to find the lengths of the lines AC and then BP. So let's get them down. Coordinate A is what? A is 2, negative 1. B, is it 3, 7? Yes, it is. 3, 7. C is 14, 5. 14, 5. And then P is 6, 1. So length of the line AC would be, if you do not know the formula or you have very little knowledge on the length of a line, I have a video on that, so check it out on the channel. Okay, so for AC, so we are dealing with A and C. Let me call this x1, y1. I call this x2, y2. So that will mean that I have 14 minus 2, right, square, plus, then I have 5 minus 1 square. All right, and that will give us that's 12 square plus 6 square. Now 12 square will be 144 plus 36, and that will give us 6. Oh, hold on, that's not true. I think that would be 144 plus 36, that's 180. All right, root 180 is what? That is 6 root 5. Okay, so hold on, let me verify the answer. Okay, that's correct. Now let's move on to the line BP. Okay, they want us to find the length, so that will be, check BP. So let me call this x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to have 6 minus 3 all square plus 1 minus 7 all square, and that will give me this will be 3 square, and that will give me negative 6, right? So I have negative 6 square, and 3 square is definitely 9, and this is 36, right? So 36 plus 9 will give us 45, and now we can take the root of 45 and root 45. So root 45, calculator says our answer is 3 root 5. Okay, so these are the lengths that they wanted us to find. What else is there? Okay, so this is where we end today. The next time that we meet, we'll be talking about areas of rectilinear figures. This concept is about, for example, this particular triangle. If they had asked us to find the area of this triangle, what is the easiest possible way to find area? We will come to see that in our next video. Until then, stay safe. Bye for now.